And the way that I do this is by using a patient-specific functional scale, which is a very common scale in physical therapy. Basically, what you're doing is you're taking a bunch of movements that the individual wants to get back to. I use all the common movements you'll find in a CrossFit gym, and you rate each movement on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 to 10 means there's no way you could ever possibly perform this movement due to your pain or injury. A 10 out of 10 means that you could always perform this movement and your pain or injury never interferes, right? So basically 0 out of 10, real bad, could never do it. 10 out of 10, piece of cake, never bothers my injury. And if you can't perform a given movement, like muscle-ups, for example, due to a lack of strength or technique, don't factor that into your training. So for example, if you have ankle pain, then your training for a muscle-up should be 10 out of 10, even if you can't perform muscle-ups, right? You have to make sure that you're not giving yourself a 0 out of 10 for the muscle-up just because you can't do them. You have to factor in your pain or injury, okay? So unfortunately, I know a lot of you guys are listening to this via podcast. I have the patient-specific scale in front of me, and I'll read it out to you. So for double unders, she was a 5 out of 10. For ring muscle-ups, 0. Bar muscle-ups, 0. Toes to bar, 0. Makes sense. Very shoulder-intensive movements are 0. Double unders, 5. So she's kind of moderate with a movement that typically doesn't bother people's shoulders too much, right? Wall balls, 2. Thrusters, 1. Chest or bar pull-ups, 0. Maximal snatches from a power perspective, 2. Snatch, power, cycling is 2. Squat snatches, heavy, are 2. Squat snatches, cycling are 2. Maximal cleans from a power perspective are 5. Maximal cleans, power, cycling are 5. Squat cleans maximally 5. Squat cleans where you're cycling the barbell are 5. Deadlifts are 10. Box jumps are 10. That makes sense. They don't stress the shoulder too much. Burpees are 5. Overhead squats 3. Maximal jerks 1. Cycling jerks 1. Rows 8. Push-ups 1, push press 1, shoulder overhead 1, handstand push-up 0, lunges 10, single arm snatch 5, strict pull-up 5, rope climb 0, dumbbell clean and jerk 3, right? So just to give you an idea, that's super irritable, okay? She's really not able to get away with much overhead stuff in the gym without pain. And this is a problem because if she keeps on exercising, right, even if she's trying her best to modify, things are probably going to hurt. You probably can't get through a single workout without encountering some of those movements that were, zeros, right? It's going to be very hard to work out. So what I do is have the individual fill out this patient-specific functional scale, and anything that's below an 8 out of 10, I just give them a modification, right? So for double under, she got a 5. That's below the 8. I give her single unders, right? For ring muscle-ups, she has a 0. There's no way she can do a muscle-up. I give her a ring row with a shoulder tap. Same thing goes for bar muscle up. Wall balls are turned into medicine ball cleans. Chest to bar pull-ups are turned into ring rows. Snatches are turned into, let's say if it's a squat snatch, a front squat. If it's a power snatch, it gets turned into a kettlebell swing, right? Heavy cleans with a squat are turned into front squats as well. Overhead squats are turned into front squats. Jerks are turned into some sort of aerobic piece, or you eliminate the movement. So what I tend to do is if a movement does not have a suitable modification that kind of matches what you're trying to do with that movement. So if you're trying to do, let's say, a push press, right? You want to try to train the shoulders. If you can't find a movement that's going to be tolerated well, right? It kind of gets a similar goal of working the shoulders. You just get rid of it or turn it into an aerobic piece, okay? Strict pull-ups were turned into ring rows. Dumbbell clean and jerks were turned into single arm kettlebell swings. If you want to see the full list, then just head over to YouTube and take a look at the patient-specific functional scale yourself. But here's the thing. This is incredibly important because I want this individual to continue exercising. Exercising is so important for health in general. It's just that if she doesn't modify, she's in a lot of trouble, okay? So this makes it a bit of a no-brainer. So the athlete knows when a movement pops up in the gym, she can just go on her list and say, hey, instead of doing this exercise, I'm going to do this exercise. And the other thing that I do, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, is that I make a Google Doc and I send this to the coaches within the gym. So the coaches know how to modify as well. So what we're trying to do is make this a no-brainer as much as we possibly can for the athlete.